You are Manuel Suarez. Mr. Suarez, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. And ma'am, you are Ms. Silva. You're charged with prostitution. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. And we are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be appointed to represent you, ma'am. Okay, let's start with Suarez.
Yes, Judge. On December 20th, 2024, at approximately 4:38 a.m., the officer was dispatched to a stranded vehicle at the 11700 block of South Sam Houston Tollway. Upon arrival, the officer observed the defendant to be asleep behind the wheel of the car with gear shift in drive position and foot on the brake. There was an open container half filled with an alcoholic beverage, and the officer observed the defendant with glassy eyes and unsteady balance. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted, 6 out of 6 on the HGN, 2 out of 8 on the walk and turn, and 3 out of 4 on the one-leg stand. The DIC was read and the defendant consented to breath. The results were 0.142 and 0.145.
Mr. Suarez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I would hope that you would recognize it's elementary that you're not supposed to have alcohol in the car while you are driving. It is a minimum of 5 days in jail to any sentence that you get when they allege that you have alcohol in the car. I don't know what your immigration status is, but if you're not in this country with permission and you go to jail, immigration will find you. They will put a detainer on you. Do you understand? I'm putting conditions on your bond. You violate these conditions, I will put you in jail so fast your head will be spinning 100 miles an hour. Do not consume alcohol, do not use illegal drugs, and do not drive. Do you understand? If you violate these conditions, I will put you in jail and I'm going to make your bond high. The reason you got out of jail quick because we gave you a PR bond. No more if you become a danger to my community. You understand? I'm going to have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. I'm going to get you to Ramona. We are going to give you a reset to give you time to hire a lawyer. After that, you will get with Francis for your bond conditions. Don't consume alcohol, and above all else, do not drive. Do you understand? Heed this warning. You will not get another. Are you signing on to Ms. Silva?
Yes, Mr. Ralph Martinez is signing.
Great, okay.
He's put on his tie.
Sorry?
Put on his tie outside, Ralph Martinez.
Okay. You want me to wait?
No, just want to let you know you're on.
Okay. We're about to do probable cause now, so you made it right in the nick of time. Okay, you ready?
Yes, Judge. Please. On December 19th, 2024, the officer was working in an undercover capacity as part of proactive vice investigation at Chicas Locas. While inside the club, the officer engaged in a conversation with the defendant. The defendant then gave the officer table dances and agreed to engage in deviant sexual intercourse or oral sex in exchange for a fee of $500 with a condom.
Ma'am, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I am ordering you not to engage in like-kind behavior, not to participate in this kind of environment. Do you understand? If I find that you do, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds, ma'am. All I'm asking you to do is don't work in these types of establishment and don't pick up a new case. You've got great lawyers. They will take care of you. You need to listen to them and they will tell you when you have to come back to court. If they tell me they can't get a hold of you because you're playing games and you've flown, then I will issue a warrant for your arrest. You understand, man? Okay. I'm going to have you just sign a reset with Ramona right now. After that, we'll have you take a seat in the jury box. So we'll get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it. And after that, you'll be free to go, man. Hi, Ralph. All I did was just no engaging in like-kind behavior, and then that's it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, guys, please. Here for, are you here for you or for someone else? You here? This is for you. Okay. Got it. All right. Good morning, Mr. Baldwin. Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On December 22nd, 2024, the officer conducted a traffic stop on the defendant's vehicle at approximately 2:11 a.m. after observing it drive northbound on a southbound only street at the 1000 block of Durham Drive. The officer observed the defendant to be the driver and sole occupant of the vehicle, and the defendant admitted to drinking and advised the officer he was coming from a few bars on Washington Avenue. The officer observed the defendant to have bloodshot eyes and an odor of an alcoholic beverage and was swaying while standing. Standard field sobriety tests were performed. HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 4 out of 8, one leg stand 3 out of 4. The DIC was read, but the defendant refused. Blood search warrant was signed and executed.
What was the stop for again?
Driving north on a southbound only road.
Got it. Okay. Mr. Baldwin, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. You will be randomly tested. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, I will issue a warrant for your arrest, put you in jail. Do you understand?
Sir.
Do you run his license?
Eligible, Your Honor.
All right. As long as you have liability insurance in your name, you may continue to drive as well. You need car insurance. If you don't, then you're not allowed to drive. Do you understand? Okay. Now you've got a great lawyer. He'll take care of you. You got to stay in contact with him. If Val tells me he can't get a hold of you because you're playing games, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. Not hard. Don't drink, don't use illegal drugs, and stay in contact. We good? All right, come on. Thank you.
So. Yes, Judge.
You're, yeah, okay. Andrew Aralo.
Yes.
Mr. Aralo, you're charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On December 20th, 2024, officers responded to a residence in regard to a shooting that just occurred. The officer stated over the radio that concerned citizens pointed out a motor vehicle involved in a possible shooting. The officer followed the motor vehicle and began calling out direction of the motor vehicle. A felony stop was conducted, and the defendant, 17 years old, was in possession of a handgun with a sling.
Someone saw him get in the car and go?
It just pointed out the vehicle that was involved in a possible shooting, and the officer was following that vehicle.
So
And then
someone saw a shot from the car.
all it says is that a concerned citizen pointed out a vehicle that was involved in a possible shooting. Or
Let's do this. I'm going to appoint him a lawyer, and then I'm going to have the lawyer look in, and then we'll go
yes, Judge.
we'll revisit here. Ramon, do you mind appointing Mr. Arba, excuse me, Mr. Arvalo, a lawyer, please?
Okay, Judge.
Mr. Arvalo, take a seat for me in the jury box, please.
Sir.
Ma'am, you're charged with criminal trespass. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you.
Yes, Judge. On December 21st, 2024, officers were dispatched to a tracked motor vehicle at a tow lot in Harris County, Texas. The officer made contact with the defendant, who stated her car was stolen that morning from her job, the prison in Huntsville, and that no way her car was repossessed because she paid her bills, and that she was not exiting the motor vehicle, and the complainant needed to open the gate so she could leave. The defendant stated she was not trespassing because her motor vehicle was in the tow lot, she did not care about going to jail, and she was not leaving. The defendant further stated to call the DA. The defendant refused to exit the motor vehicle and the lot. The officer made contact with the complainant, the owner of the lot, who stated he had been looking for the defendant to repossess her vehicle. The complainant stated he wanted the defendant out of the tow lot. The defendant took the GPS out of the vehicle, and the vehicle was repossessed from Huntsville. The complainant further stated the defendant was past due on payments. The complainant stated he has proof of everything, including his possession request, and did not know how the defendant got into the tow lot as no one opened the gate for the defendant. The officer observed the defendant sitting in the repossessed vehicle, and the defendant stated she did not know how she got in, and the gate was observed to be locked. The defendant told another officer that a Hispanic male allowed her into the lot, but the defendant could not confirm whether male was, and the complainant stated no Hispanic male opened the lot for the defendant. The officer asked the defendant multiple times to exit the motor vehicle and the lot, to which the defendant refused.
That's,
Stop.
yes, sir. That's not true.
You have the right to remain silent.
Yes, sir.
Exercise that right. I've got a
Yes, sir.
bunch of DAs here. Everything that you say, they're going to sit there, type it, and they're going to use it to prove guilt.
Yes, sir.
You will get the opportunity to, fight the case.
Yes, sir.
Now's not the time.
Okay.
Bottom line is you need a lawyer to represent you in this case, right? Do you work?
I work as a correctional officer, sir. I actually help with INS cases and sending ICE
And
defendants out.
how much money do you make How much money do you make a month?
Probably without taxes being taken out. Probably like 4,000.
We're going to give you time to hire a lawyer. Okay, so what I'll have you do,
I'm actually off work right now. I can't work because of this case.
what
I work for the state.
what does that mean?
That means that I can't go back to work. I'm not able to go back to work because of this case.
Did you get suspended?
Well, just depending on what happened today at court, you're not supposed to go to jail or do anything, being what type of job I have.
Did they tell you that not to come back?
Yes, I cannot come back until they figure out what's going on with my case.
Okay.
So this is how,
You want to apply for an appointed lawyer, man?
yes, sir.
Okay. Let me see if I have one on file.
No, Judge.
No, okay, so Ms. Arrington, I'll give you an application. I need to take a look at it. And then if you qualify, I'll appoint your lawyer today. Understand, things don't just work overnight. Takes time to get evidence, takes time for stuff to come in. They have to contact the other people. So it may take some time. It's not just Rome wasn't built overnight, as the saying goes. So just be patient, and everything will work out. Okay. Of course. So I'll have you sign, I'll have you sign a reset with Ramona. We'll give you an application. Take a seat here in the juror box, fill it out, and I'll take a look. Well, thank you, Ms. Arrington. Okay.
Is Mr. Billsong, Your Honor, on page 3?
All right, Mr. Bissong? Mr. Bissong, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On December 21st, 2024, the officer conducted a traffic stop on the defendant's vehicle at approximately 1:24 a.m. after observing it travel 104 miles per hour and 96 miles per hour in a 60 mile per hour zone. The defendant was found in the driver's seat of the vehicle with one adult passenger. Upon contact with the defendant, the officer observed red glossy eyes, slurred speech, and a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage. The defendant admitted to drinking. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted, HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 3 out of 8, one leg stand 1 out of 4. Inventory of the vehicle revealed a bottle of cognac directly behind the front passenger seat on the floorboard, approximately 1/4 full. DICs were read and the defendant consented to breath. The results were .089 and .095.
JIC, prior to DWIs, and does he have a license? Please?
There's no prior DWIs, Your Honor, and license is eligible.
Mr. Bissong, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. Do you understand? You also are not allowed to drive unless you have liability insurance in your name. You understand? These are your bond conditions. As long as you can abide by these bond conditions, you and I will be fine. Otherwise, I'm going to end up putting you in jail. I'm not asking much. We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I will have you go to Ramona, sign a reset. After that, you'll get with Francis for your bond conditions, and then you're free to go. All right, please. Good morning, Mr. Charles. Sir, you were charged with evading arrest or detention. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On December 22nd, 2024, officers were dispatched to check by a unit regarding individuals fighting at a parking lot in Harris County, Texas. The officer in full uniform observed a large group of individuals circled around 2 individuals fighting in the lot. Officers dispersed the crowd and attempted to detain the defendant. The defendant looked at the officer and attempted to leave the scene because he did not want to speak with the officer. The officer informed the defendant he was not free to leave, and the defendant started to run away on foot from the officer while the officer told the defendant to stop running. The defendant ran approximately 2 blocks or 500 feet.
What was he doing wrong? Just standing?
He was engaged in a fight with someone else.
Was he the one that was actually fighting? Didn't seem like it. If he's just a spectator, he's doing nothing wrong.
The officer
Unless you-
wrote, after he dispersed the crowd, he attempted to defame the defendant who was involved in the fight.
Okay. Mr. Charles, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Just be careful, really. I'm not going to put any conditions on your bond. Just be careful. Don't pick up any new cases. That's all we're asking you to do. All right. We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I'm going to have you go to Ramona, sign a reset. And after that, you're out of here. Morning, Mr. Glover. Mr. Glover, you're charged with burglary of a motor vehicle. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. You're on bond for a burglar of a motor vehicle, and now you've picked up a new case. Okay, stop. You were on bond for a burglar of a motor vehicle, and now you've picked up an assault of a family member. You're now facing a year on that one as well. We're going to do probable cause on both of your cases. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you.
Yes, Judge. On the burglary, the officers were dispatched to a burglary call at a residence in Harris County, Texas. The complainant told the officers that items were missing from his work truck, which was parked in front of his house. The complainant had cameras inside and around the truck, which captured the defendant's face. The officers received a tip from Grizzy identifying the defendant and were able to confirm the defendant's identity by viewing the captured surveillance.
Bless Gizzies. Hood news. You guys familiar with the hood news? Good stuff. So say it again. What happened?
For the burglary?
No, the assault.
So on the assault case, the complainant and the defendant are in a dating relationship. And on December 20th, 2024, the officers were on patrol at Katy Freeway Service Road and observed the defendant and the complainant. The officer observed the defendant dragging the complainant by her hair towards the sidewalk. After the defendant saw the officer, he let go of the complainant and both began to walk towards the patrol vehicle. The officer detained the defendant and spoke with the complainant. The complainant stated she and the defendant were in an argument and the defendant was following her to get inside his car because she was walking in the road. The complainant did not have visible injuries, but stated she bit her lip and caused it to bleed. The complainant stated she did not feel pain from having her hair pulled. The complainant stated she felt 3 out of 10 pain.
Mr. Glover, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward on your assault case. Tell me about the BMV, please.
On the BMV? So that was the one where they were dispatched to a residence in regard to a BMV call, and the complainant had cameras inside and around the truck, which captured the defendant's face, and he told the officers that items were missing from his work truck, which was parked in front of his house.
So they got him on camera with the home camera.
Yes, Judge.
Was he on bond for our burglary case and then picked up the new case? Do you guys?
Yes, Judge, it seems like I'm
Did we do conditions and everything?
So it looks like there were conditions on the 15th of December and the new case was on the 20th of December.
So we had him, we put conditions on him.
Looks like there were conditions.
Looks like there's some nice things, Judge.
Judge, he may have been arraigned by the magistrate. I don't know if he ever came before you.
Mr. Glover, let me make something extremely clear to you. I'm going to do everything in my power to protect my city at all costs. I don't care who you are, what color you are. If you're a small farm animal, I'm going to protect my city at all costs. You endanger my city, I'm going to light you up so fast you're going to have teeth falling out. Do you understand? You were not to have contact with the complainant in this case. at all whatsoever. And I'm now sending you for a drug test because I want to know what, if anything, is in your system, and you're to come right back. If you fail to go take the drug test, if you fail to come back, I will revoke both of your bonds and make them sky high. As it stands now, you were given 2 PR bonds in these cases. You pick up a third case. Holy moly. Do you catch my drift?
Yes, sir.
Francis, let's send him right now. You are to come right back. And Francis, I'm going to put a GPS monitor on him on one ankle, and we're going to give him a curfew of 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. That will be on the burglary case.
Do you want them to mirror on both cases, Judge?
Sure. Yeah.